businesses support to start up and grow here in the west of England. Matt, thanks very much for coming down. This area was wholeheartedly Remain. What are business leaders telling you now? How are they feeling about the current political state?
So businesses are mainly concerned with the practical questions of how they prepare, and I've seen a really noticeable change in tone in the past few days, in the past weeks. People are starting to get really quite concerned. And we've moved from things like no deal being quite an abstract scenario that might have happened to actually being a concrete date. So, for example, yesterday I was talking to a company who were heading to Holland to look at opening up negotiations to open a new warehouse. I was talking to another company owner yesterday who's just chartered a ship from China to bring a shipload of shoes over, and they need to decide whether it comes into Southampton or goes into Rotterdam, because if it comes into the UK and then we have a no deal, he's facing 70% tariffs on those shoes to his European customers. So it's those practical things. And I think the vote last night has really meant there's been an almost tangible loss of confidence out there, and certainly the loss of confidence in the PM's ability to get this deal. And I think what we're worried about is that spreads to a more general loss of confidence in Parliament to come together and sort things out.
We know that Philip Hammond made a call to business leaders last night to reassure them. Do you not think that's going to make any difference? So
we have very good, frank conversations with the civil service and with the Chancellor, but the ball is now in Parliament's court, really, and the ball is in the government's court to kind of start to think about reaching out across party divides. And that's what's really concerning business, is that they have really pressing things they need to do now. They need to make investment decisions. They need to decide, is a no deal going to happen or not? And listening in to the debate in Parliament and the level of debate, for how partisan it is, that no deal option no longer seems like it's a remote option anymore. It's the default outcome. So businesses need to prepare for that, and it means second best choices for them.
And in terms of the big businesses in this area, Airbus, Rolls-Royce have both warned of jobs losses, haven't they? Do you think this area in particular could be badly affected economically if we do leave with no deal?
So we're a pretty diverse area, but we're a city with the largest number of exports to Europe. We clearly have Airbus and BMW and others. But there are also other areas as well. So, for example, we've got lots of creative businesses, and Macron gave a speech last week saying that audiovisual services wouldn't be in a future FTA. So there are lots of questions from across the sectors. The key now is that parliamentarians have to come down to avoid no deal and think, what is the future trade relationship and how do we avoid friction in that relationship? And it doesn't seem like they're at that point yet.
And a lot of the companies that you represent will be having daily conversations with Europe, won't they? Presumably their suppliers, their customers, or as equally unsure. You know, you talked about the person bringing in shoes from China, but people bringing in and sending stuff to Europe must be having these conversations daily now.
Yeah. And the worry for us is that if you're a UK seller, how do you deal with a no deal is very difficult. But if you're an EU buyer, if you're one of their customers, the answer is pretty simple. You say, oh, why don't we not buy from the UK? And we're hearing that sentiment come as well, which is concerning. So MPs really need to get a grip on the situation.
Okay. Matt Griffiths from Business West, thank you very much for joining us. Now.